Brownfield's Meghan Grebner from BASF Science Behind ahead of the 2024 Commodity Classic. With us today is Nick Christensen, a farmer in Southwest Iowa. Talk to me a little bit about some of the things that you touched on today at this event.
Well, trying to make farming more sustainable for us, the challenges that are met with this. Soybeans in general, we don't think of like corn, and we need to start turning soybeans into a corn product. We need to look at where they can go on our farms and make our farms more productive.
When you look at some of the management practices that you've implemented and some of maybe the investments in technology for soybeans that you have utilized on your operation, what type of increased production and yield gains have you seen in your soybean crop?
Compared to the way my father did it years ago, it's huge. We're 40 and 35 bushel beans when I first started farming, and now implementing precision farming into that has gained. What BASF has done here, I think, is the next step forward to maintaining, continuing our farm operation. So my ultimate goal is to keep our farm operating. It was started in 1910, and I want to continue to go. And I've got two boys that are interested in farming also. So,
when you look at these technologies and implementing, thinking about fungicides and the use of fungicide, how important has that become in everyday production?
Super huge. Every year seems to meet us with another challenge, and no year is ever the same. But you start to see the challenges that show up and how to correct them earlier to maintain that goal of trying to feed the world.
You mentioned in implementing precision technologies in your operations. What other ways have you maybe changed how you think about planting soybeans or raising soybeans as a crop in more of that corn mindset?
A lot of it comes from other data that's been out there. When we use our data, it has told us that we need to plant earlier, and we've seen yield boosts go with it. When you surround yourself with the agronomist and my seed guy doing trials and stuff, you start to pick up, and they start to say, hey, let's try this, and eventually it becomes a thing that, this works great, so then we continue using that and continuing to up the bar and make it better.
As we look ahead to the 2024 growing season, 70-degree temperatures back home in the Midwest has to maybe get folks a little itchy about getting into the field. What are some things that you're thinking about ahead of the start of this 2024 planting season?
Well, getting anhydrous on and done. My dad's at home. He's itchy about it, so he's going to go ahead and start with that process. One thing you got to remember is that you have to remain calm yet. Field conditions might be fit, but that can turn with the amount of time that we have. I've never been in the field in February before, so this is kind of a big thing for us along that line. But still, the crop insurance date is April 11th, and so you kind of got to hang there. If it's fit in April 11th, trust me, our planter will be flying. So,
talk to me a little bit about field conditions. How dry? Parts of Iowa were extremely dry. It's not been a really consistently wet winter. How are you on precipitation? Are you concerned about drought conditions going into 2024?
Yes, I am. It's still rather dry. They were talking about putting a burn ban on here last week in our county. We had a great amount of snow. Nothing has really froze. I think we had about 3.5 foot of snow, and that has not being froze. It's soaked in. So we've got some generation back to it, but we're going to need a lot more. Fog days. You watch fog days or anything or not? My dad does really close, and toward April and May, we're going to have some type of precipitation. So coming forth with planting a crop, if you plan to have a dud, you'll have a dud. So you plan as just like normal business.
Talk to me a little bit about, you mentioned not a lot of freeze days, not a lot of ground frozen. How concerned are you about pest pressure carryover into this growing season?
We had more rain than before, so think we'll be okay, but we might see. Last year we had a bunch of anhydrous burn, and a lot of that was due to it was wet in the top half, and nitrogen will attach itself to moisture. Well, what moisture was in the ground came back up, and we had a lot of seed corn that got burned by that. So coming forth, I mean, we'll just have to see it's a mystery. We'll see what it can bring us. So
What are you, when you look ahead, what is kind of like your high and low? What are you most optimistic about for 2024, and what's your biggest concern?
Biggest concern is price right now. Being optimistic, I just want to have a sustainable year, that the good Lord provides enough for us to continue on this operation.
Nick, anything else?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your time here in Houston.
All right, thank you.
From Houston, I'm Meghan Grebner for Brownfield.